Let me ask you something. Why is it that one small comment, one message, one tone of voice can completely ruin your mood for hours? Not a punch, not a real threat, just words. And suddenly you're angry, defensive, replaying the scene in your head, imagining comebacks you'll never say. Most people call this being emotional. Some say, I just feel deeply. But today I want to show you something uncomfortable. What if the problem isn't your emotions? What if it's your thinking? What if every time you lose control, you're not weak? You're just accepting bad logic without checking it. This video is about how to stop doing that. You're falling for bad math. Most people think emotional intelligence means suppressing feelings, like don't feel angry, stay calm, breathe. But that's like telling someone not to feel pain when they touch fire. That doesn't work. Here's the real problem. Every emotional reaction you have follows a hidden formula. Event to meaning to emotion to reaction. Let's slow that down. Someone insults you. That insult is just sound waves or text on a screen, nothing more. But your brain instantly adds meaning. They disrespected me. They think I'm stupid. I look weak if I don't react. That meaning triggers emotion. Emotion triggers action. Here's the mistake we all make. We treat the insult as proof, as if the other person just handed us a fact about reality, but they didn't. They handed you a premise, a claim, and most claims are wrong. Think of it like bad math. If someone says 2 plus 2 equals 5, do you get offended? No, you reject it. You don't argue emotionally with the number. You just say, that's incorrect. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most insults are exactly like that. Someone says, you're useless. Your brain jumps to, they're right, implies I'm threatened, implies I must react. But logically, that sentence proves nothing. Who said it? Based on what evidence? In what context? At what emotional state? Instead of reacting, imagine doing this mentally. Interesting claim, show me the proof. That one pause, that one mental step is emotional intelligence, not calm breathing, not suppression. Dissection. Separating what happens from what you add. Now let's answer a bigger question. Why do we lose our cool over small things? Traffic, slow replies, tone, sarcasm, looks. It feels automatic, right? But here's the secret most people never realize. Nothing outside you has emotions built into it. Events are neutral. A message is just pixels. A tone is just vibration. A delay is just time passing. The pain comes from what you tell yourself about it. Let's use a simple example. Someone cuts you off in traffic. What actually happened? A car moved in front of your car. That's it. Now your mind adds, they disrespected me. They think I'm nothing. This always happens to me. Notice something important. The suffering didn't come from the car. It came from the story. Now here's the hidden solution. Start treating conflicts like equations. Ask yourself, what exactly happened? Without commentary. Then ask, what did I assume? Most of the time, your emotional reaction depends entirely on that assumption. Change the assumption to emotion, changes automatically. If instead you assume, maybe they didn't see me. Suddenly, no rage. Same event, different judgment. This is powerful because it puts control back in your hands. You can't control people, but you can control what conclusions you accept. That's emotional mastery. High-stakes transformation. Seeing insults as logical errors. Here's where everything shifts. What if every insult wasn't an attack, but a logical mistake? Someone says, you always mess things up. Always? Every single time? No exceptions? No evidence? That sentence already collapsed. It's an exaggeration pretending to be truth. Someone says, no one respects you. Who is no one? Did they survey everyone? Again, broken logic. When you start seeing this, something wild happens. You stop feeling wounded. Because you realize this isn't about you. It's about their thinking. Most emotional people aren't evil. They're just sloppy thinkers speaking loudly. And here's the biggest upgrade. When you stop reacting emotionally, you gain leverage. Calm people control the frame. Instead of defending yourself, you can say, what makes you think that? Or, That's a big claim. Can you explain? Watch how fast aggression collapses when it has to explain itself. This isn't about winning arguments. It's about not handing your nervous system to anyone who speaks carelessly. Practical daily application. Here's a simple rule you can use starting today. Before reacting, ask 3 questions silently. What exactly happened? What assumption am I making? Is that assumption proven? If it's not proven, don't act on it. Pause. Let the logic finish. Emotions follow conclusions. Fix the conclusion. Emotions fall in line. Closing, 1930 to 20. Emotional intelligence isn't about being cold. It's about being precise. When you stop accepting flawed thinking, people lose the power to control your inner world, and that's real strength. If this changed how you see conflict, sit with it, re-watch it, practice it once today. That's all it takes to start mastering yourself. Now here's the part nobody tells you. Most conflicts don't explode because of anger. They explode because of speed. Your brain reacts faster than your reasoning. Someone says something sharp, your body tightens, your chest heats up. Your mouth prepares a response. And before you even realize what's happening, you're already inside the emotion. That's not personality. That's a rushed conclusion. The ancient thinkers understood something we've forgotten. Speed is the enemy of clarity. They trained themselves to slow down between the event and the reaction. Not by counting to 10, not by pretending they don't care, but by asking one brutal question. Is this conclusion actually true? Let me tell you a simple story. A guy I knew, normal, smart, not aggressive, almost lost his job over one sentence. His manager said casually, "This could have been done better." That's it. No yelling, no insult. But in his head, the sentence became, "I'm incompetent. They regret hiring me. I'm about to be replaced." By the end of the day, he was cold, defensive, snapping at people. What actually happened? One suggestion. What destroyed his peace? A chain of unverified conclusions. When he finally slowed down and replayed the moment, something clicked. The manager didn't say, "You're bad." He didn't say, "You failed." He didn't say, "You're done." The damage wasn't in the words. It was in the interpretation. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. You're not reacting to reality. You're reacting to your prediction of reality. That's huge. Most emotional pain comes from imagining futures that haven't happened. Someone ignores your message. Your mind jumps to, "They don't respect me. I said something wrong. I'm not important." But silence isn't rejection. It's just silence. Your brain hates uncertainty, so it fills the gap with fear. Logic steps in and says, "Wait, that's one possibility, not a fact." That pause alone can save hours of mental torture. Another story. 2 friends, same insult, completely different reactions. One guy gets called average in a group chat. He laughs it off. Another guy hears the same word and goes quiet for days. Same sentence, same tone, different meaning attached. Why? Because emotions don't come from words. They come from what those words confirm about how you already see yourself. If you secretly believe you're inadequate, any comment becomes evidence. Logic doesn't attack your feelings. It checks your evidence. That's emotional intelligence. Now here's what people don't like hearing. If an insult hurts deeply, it's usually because part of you agrees with it. That's uncomfortable, but powerful. When someone says something false, it slides off. When someone touches a doubt you already carry, it burns. So instead of fighting the person, logic asks, "Is this actually true? If yes, what can I fix? If no, why am I letting it hurt?" Either way, you gain control. Reacting emotionally gives you nothing. Investigating gives you clarity. Let's talk about arguments. Most arguments aren't disagreements. They're 2 people defending invisible assumptions. Someone says, "You never listen." What they mean is, I didn't feel heard this time. But they package it as an absolute statement. Logic unpacks it. Instead of fighting the accusation, you zoom in. When exactly did you feel unheard? Now suddenly, the fight turns into a conversation.